Lamenting a glorious city. This opinion examines Karachi's descent from a thriving economic and cultural hub into a metropolis crippled by governance failures and elite indifference. It is a city that houses major financial, capital, and industrial services and labor markets, and provides livelihoods to millions of people. This opening sentence serves as the thesis statement by highlighting Karachi's central role in Pakistan's economy and the human stakes involved. It generates more than half the total federal taxes and serves as the principal gateway to the country's goods, services, and transportation. This sentence underscores Karachi's fiscal importance and its function as Pakistan's main trade and transport hub. It has preserved its unique multi-ethnic and cosmopolitan milieu and was once known as the glory of the East for its pristine beauty, cultural diversity, and excellent services. Milieu is a noun meaning the social or cultural environment in which something exists. Cosmopolitan is an adjective meaning composed of people or influences from many countries. Glory of the East is a metaphor comparing Karachi to a shining jewel in Asia. This sentence means that Karachi's rich cultural mix and past reputation make its present decline all the more tragic. Should such a city be left to its fate, condemned to suffer bad governance, a broken infrastructure, unplanned growth, unclean water, untreated sewage, ethnic divides, political violence, and above all, an apathetic and extractive class of administrators and stakeholders, left to its fate is an idiomatic expression meaning abandoned without intervention. Condemned to suffer is a phrase meaning doomed to experience negative outcomes. Extractive is an adjective describing actors who take resources without giving back. This rhetorical question asks whether Karachi can be abandoned to decay by those entrusted with its care. Yes, you guessed correctly. This city is Karachi, which has been treated in a deplorable fashion by, among others, its own people. Deplorable is an adjective meaning deserving strong condemnation. This sentence identifies the city and assigns blame to its residents and leaders for its neglect. Modern metropolises are living testaments to higher forms of civic life, besides being the engines of economic growth and cultural effervescence. Metropolises is a plural noun meaning very large and important cities. Cultural effervescence is a metaphor describing a lively, bubbling mix of cultural activities. This sentence means that great cities should showcase advanced civic organization, economic dynamism, and vibrant culture. They are cherished by their denizens for their identity, success, quality of life, and the provision of livelihoods. Denizens is a noun meaning inhabitants or residents. This sentence means that people value their cities for what they provide in terms of identity, prosperity, and well-being. They are run by elected representatives with the help of a well-regulated bureaucracy. Bureaucracy is a noun meaning the administrative system governing any large institution. This sentence suggests that effective city governance relies on accountable leadership and competent administration. Professionals, academia, businessmen, corporations, and even cultural leaders play their due role in framing policies and managing civic bodies. This sentence means that a wide range of stakeholders should collaborate to shape urban policy and services. There are independent courts and regulators to enforce private rights and public order. Regulators is a noun meaning agencies that supervise and control specific activities. This sentence means that legal and regulatory institutions uphold citizens' rights and maintain order. The laws of tort has also provided people in such metropolises with a sword and shield to protect and recompense them for losses and injuries suffered at the hands of inept and negligent public and private providers of goods and services. Law of tort is a technical term for the body of law that allows individuals to seek compensation for civil wrongs. Sword and shield is a metaphor indicating both offensive and defensive legal tools. This sentence means that tort law empowers citizens to hold service providers accountable for harm or negligence. More importantly, public assets, particularly land, are strictly regulated. And this sentence means that great cities tightly control the use and development of their most valuable resources. Land is central to developing cities under a corresponding regulatory framework to ensure harmony and balance between growth in demography, aesthetics, and ecology. This sentence means that careful land use planning is essential to balance population needs, urban design, and environmental protection. Water is another commodity which is treasured qualitatively and quantitatively. This sentence means that great cities also prioritize the quality and quantity of their water supplies. In recent years, the environment is increasingly taking the front seat in town planning and development. Taking the front seat is an idiomatic expression meaning becoming the primary focus. This sentence means that environmental considerations are now central to urban planning. But why is it that Karachi, despite being the country's economic hub, continues to lack most of the attributes of great cities like London, New York, Paris, Sao Paulo, Tokyo, and even Mumbai? The sentence asks why Karachi fails to meet the standards of other leading world cities despite its economic importance. Unfortunately, Karachi mirrors the overall failures of governance. But are there any specific reasons for the rot it suffers? Let's examine the situation. This sentence introduces an investigation into the particular factors behind Karachi's decline. Karachi's politics. Lenin defined politics as the pursuit of political power. In its true sense, this meant empowering the common man/working classes. Pursuit of political power is a phrase meaning the effort to gain control over governance. This sentence contrasts the ideal of politics, empowering the people, with Karachi's reality. But strangely, the city's principal political parties, including the PPP, MQM, Jamaat-e-Islami, and ANP, have rarely sought to empower ordinary citizens. This sentence means that Karachi's main parties have neglected genuine popular empowerment. Nor have they contested elections on the urban agenda development, security, services, entertainment, climate, etc. Urban agenda is a jargon term for the set of policies and priorities specific to city governance. This sentence means that political campaigns ignore the core issues that affect city dwellers. In fact, Karachi's politics has been historically marred by three maladies: a rigged electoral system, the state's patronage to one or the other political force, and cyclical political violence. Marred is a verb meaning spoiled or damaged. Patronage is a noun meaning support given by a powerful body to a political group. This sentence lists the three structural flaws: fraud, favoritism, and violence that have plagued Karachi's politics. The politicians' focus has largely been on securing a greater share of the city's power and resources. The people are left to fend for themselves. Fend for themselves is a phrasal verb meaning to take care of one's own needs without help. This sentence means that leaders compete for spoils while citizens suffer neglect. No wonder no party has addressed the city's most critical problem: developing a master plan for Karachi to ensure its orderly and regulated growth, both horizontal and vertical. Master plan is a technical term for a comprehensive long-term urban development strategy. This sentence means that the absence of a coherent development blueprint explains Karachi's chaotic growth. The resulting policy chaos has allowed powerful vested interests to change rules at whim. Policy chaos is a phrase meaning the absence of coherent policy. Vested interests is a jargon term for groups that stand to gain from specific outcomes. This sentence means that lack of regulation empowers elites to manipulate the system for their own benefit. Of late, the entire city has been commercialized, with no regard for the disastrous impact on privacy, planning, or the environment. Commercialized is a verb meaning converted to profit-driven use. This sentence means that unrestrained commercial development has harmed Karachi's urban fabric and ecology. Karachi's elites. Like any other modern megalopolis, Karachi has resources. It possesses a range of elites consisting of business interests, rights groups, media houses, cultural icons, and various bureaucracies: provincial, federal, civil, military, and corporate. Megalopolis is a noun meaning an extensive metropolitan area. This sentence means that Karachi has a powerful network of influential groups and institutions. Equipped with such a powerful array of guardians and doorkeepers, the city should have been fortified enough to protect itself against continuing bad governance, policy chaos, and the merciless exploitation of its key resources: land, water, and the coastal belt. Fortified is a verb meaning strengthened against attack or decay. Merciless exploitation is a phrase meaning ruthless and unrestrained use of resources. This sentence means that despite having many potential protectors, Karachi remains vulnerable to plunder and neglect. But deplorably, the city is in a mess. Half its population, about 12.5 million, lives in Kachiabadis. The other half, regardless of class or position, also remains perennially starved of basic amenities. That is, clean water, sanitation, gas, electricity, and even a modicum of security and order. Deplorably is an adverb meaning regrettably or shockingly. Kachiabadis is a jargon term for informal settlements or slums. Modicum is a noun meaning a small amount. This sentence means that both the poor and informal settlements and the rest of the city lack fundamental services. Yet the elites have rarely confronted the aberrant administration, barring some occasional stirrings triggered by natural calamities or utility breakdowns. Aberrant is an adjective meaning deviating from the normal or expected. Stirrings is a noun meaning signs of protest or action. This sentence means that Karachi's powerful classes remain largely silent except during crises. Their studied indifference is puzzling. Studied indifference is a phrase meaning deliberate and calculated lack of concern. This sentence means that the elite's deliberate apathy is baffling. For they are consuming highly contaminated water, inhaling toxic air, living by a sea that receives 500 mgd of untreated effluent, which is destroying marine life and the mangroves, and they keep silent while the city's lands, the most precious asset for present and future generations, are being grabbed by powerful private and institutional interests, including Berea and DHAs. MGD is a technical abbreviation for million gallons per day. Effluent is a noun meaning wastewater discharged into the environment. Grabbed is a verb meaning seized unfairly or illegally. DHAs is an acronym for Defense Housing Authorities, large real estate developers. This sentence means that Karachi's elites endure environmental degradation and land grabs without protest. Karachi's commons. Thanks to an opportunist political leadership and equally indifferent if not collusive sociocultural elites, the city's poor and marginalized people, those who keep industry, trading, construction, services, and labor markets running, are bearing the brunt of the ills afflicting Karachi. Commons is a noun meaning the shared resources of a community. Collusive is an adjective meaning secretly cooperating for deceitful purposes. This sentence means that the most vulnerable citizens suffer most from Karachi's governance failures. Indeed, it is the poignant stories of these common men and women that are recorded in the annals of cities' regulatory failures, opportunistic politics, societal conflicts, cyclical violence, and governmental apathy. Poignant is an adjective meaning deeply affecting or touching. Annals is a noun meaning historical records. This sentence means that the everyday hardships of ordinary Karachiites document the city's decline. Yet these people of the working class and the white-collar community have no political representation or institutional support for their legitimate grievances to be redressed. This sentence means that both blue and white-collar workers lack avenues to have their valid complaints addressed. Instead, their voices are gagged by a slew of oppressive laws, industrial, employment, and penal. Slew is a noun meaning a large number. Gagged is a verb meaning silenced or muzzled. This sentence means that repressive legislation prevents citizens from speaking out. Even then, residents in Kachiabadis and the suburbia are rising. Suburbia is a noun meaning the residential outskirts of a city. This sentence means that despite repression, people in slums and suburbs are beginning to protest. Hordes of people, uprooted by terrorism in the north, or those seeking better jobs and opportunities, are coming to Karachi, raising a crucial question. Given Karachi's creaking infrastructure, limited resources, and eternally poor governance, how long can the city sustain the ongoing demographic shift? Hordes is a noun meaning large crowds. Creaking infrastructure is a metaphor for an aging, failing system of public works. This sentence means that massive in-migration tests Karachi's already fragile capacity. Indeed, Karachi faces another lurking threat. The ongoing construction of new canals of the Indus River system will imperil even the city's existing, much-stressed supply of water, 650 mgd, that it receives mainly from the Indus. Lurking is an adjective meaning hidden but potentially dangerous. Imperil is a verb meaning to put at risk. This sentence means that planned river diversions threaten to further reduce Karachi's water supply. This raises critical questions. Will Karachi's socio-cultural and political elites rise to the occasion and save the city from the impending water death? Or will they remain characteristically indifferent to the worsening plight of this glorious city? Rise to the occasion is an idiomatic expression meaning to perform well in a crisis. Water death is a metaphor for catastrophic water shortage. The sentence asks whether Karachi's leaders will act or continue to ignore the city's decline. Karachi is waiting for the answer. This closing sentence means that the future of the city depends on whether its elites and politicians choose to intervene. The writer is a lawyer, Shahab Usto at hotmail.com, published in Dawn, April 16, 2025.